Hi, my name is Rose Reevely. I'm a Vedic astrologer, and I am here today talking about the upcoming lunar eclipse that will take place on January the 10th, 2020. Okay, before I get started, please hit that like and subscribe button. Eclipses always bring change in. Something about the eclipse will reveal knowledge or something to us that we didn't know that has been there all along, but we just weren't aware of it. On January the 10th, there's a lunar eclipse. This is following the solar eclipse that we just had on December 25th, 2019. The lunar eclipse takes place in the sign of Gemini at 25 degrees. So Gemini's symbol is the twins, and this is a sign of duality. Gemini is an air sign, and Mercury rules over the sign of Gemini. And so Mercury deals really with the thinking mind, with what is logical and analytical, the critical thinking mind. And our Gemini friends are quick thinkers, they're flexible and they're adaptable, and we love being around them because usually, conversation moves pretty fast, right, with Geminis, and they're usually quite witty and fun to be around. And so Mercury rules the sign of Gemini. Mercury is the winged messenger, so that gives you the idea that it's going pretty fast, right? Now, Mercury is a planet that's in charge of all communications, and so that means, of course, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, broadcasting, radio, TV. Mercury has a vast domain, a huge area, and technology. So Mercury rules over both the written and spoken word. Now, the solar eclipse just took place on December 25th, and we had 6 planets and K2 in the sign of Sagittarius. And there has not been that much energy in the sign of Sagittarius in over 200 years. So you see, there really is a lot of validity to the point of it's an exciting time to be on the planet. In terms of, the solar eclipse really affects us more in terms of social, economic, political events. We'll always notice around eclipse time weather patterns, and weather becomes very extreme. We've already seen that happen with the solar eclipse in terms of the world and the weather changes. So really the solar eclipse does affect us in an external way. Those things do affect us, but it's kind of like they're out, right? This is the lunar eclipse. And so we're talking about the moon, and the moon is more specifically our feelings, our emotions. The moon deals with our heart and sensitivity. And so the moon, I always explain it in this way. The moon deals with our feeling mind or our emotions, and Mercury deals with our thinking mind. So both of these are involved in this eclipse, right? Because the eclipse takes place in Gemini. The moon also is our intuition. It's our psychic ability and our imagination. So during this eclipse, the moon will be traveling with Rahu, and Rahu is the north node. And so what this means is this creates unusual thoughts. Now, just as Gemini is a sign of duality, this is going to cause opposite extremes. Rahu with the moon can disturb the mind and cause unusual thoughts. Now, it can also these thoughts can be disturbing, anywhere from disturbing to mystical. We can have mystical experiences. It will cause a kind of out of the ordinary creativity. Rahu creates things that are out of bounds or really out there, right? So it really does activate our imagination because, as I said, both the moon and Mercury are involved in this lunar eclipse. So I think this is an excellent time for entrepreneurs and also for writers. If you have planets at 25 degrees or near within 3 degrees of that 25 degree Gemini, you will receive downloads. And when I say download, I mean information that comes in intuitively, or you may say psychically, where you get this feeling or this sense of knowing something. And you may just know that that is the truth that is coming into you. This information that comes to you, you suddenly have a deeper understanding of whatever it is that's coming in. So again, the moon is our intuition, and it's also our psychic abilities. It also is our subconscious mind. And so the subconscious mind communicates to us through symbols. Just like when you have a dream, it's kind of like a movie, right? You get pictures. There maybe it's the mind showing you, the subconscious mind is showing you a picture. And this is the way the subconscious mind communicates with the conscious mind, is it shows a picture. And then we get to translate that or determine what that meaning is. So dreams are symbolic, but they're actually giving us or revealing information to us through these pictures. So I would say now, pay close attention to any dreams that you're having, and even journal those, because we often have a way of forgetting. Even hours later, we don't have the vivid memory of that dream because it was a dream, right? So make sure that you're journaling that information because there's value. It is, if the subconscious mind is revealing something to you that is important, it wants you to know. A lot of times these dreams can be something from the past, but they can also be about the future, telling you, showing you something that is about to happen. So it's important to pay attention to what you're receiving, because often we miss this valuable knowledge because we either forget or we didn't write it down, and we could have learned something or known something in advance. You know, sometimes I really think that this eclipse, particularly this eclipse, is upgrading us psychically. It's going to be, I think that we will hear more about this over the next year, where people are either we're receiving information or we're also getting a spiritual upgrade. We are wanting to understand more about spirituality and things of a spiritual and metaphysical and mystical nature. So I've said for probably the past year that the mystery schools are, you're going to see a resurgence in that. And when I say mystery schools, you know, of course I'm talking about astrology too, because many of the ancient ways of thinking or the knowledge that past civilizations have had, that knowledge has been lost, or it's been underground for some time. And now you're going to start to see that come more to the forefront. People are going to want to know and understand more about mystical knowledge and all that we can learn from what we can't actually see or touch. So let's take a look at each one of the signs and see where the eclipse is going to be really bringing in some change or affecting you. We'll start with Aries. Aries, this eclipse is happening in your third house. And so this is, first of all, I think of communication. So this is actually the perfect, of course, place to have a download, right? To receive this mystical information or knowledge. So it deals with communications. If you're a teacher or a counselor or a therapist, you're going to be finding new ways to deliver your expertise in a probably more spiritual way or more innovative and unusual way. Also, siblings. If you have siblings, you may share something with them during this time, or something could be revealed to you about your childhood together, something that you didn't know, or you share because you're siblings. You share memories of being children together, and you may learn something from your sibling, or you may share something with them that they did not know. Also, short distance travel could bring something very unusual to your life. We don't think about that those commutes to and from work can sometimes be life-changing, but they can, and information that comes to you during that commute. Taurus, this is your money house, and so expect changes with your finances. You can, one of the things I think that you probably should do is to avoid moving large amounts of money during eclipse time. Remember that, and this is real profound because Lotus is barking while I'm sharing this with you. So avoid moving large amounts of money around during this time. But because eclipse time, you want to, if you can avoid making any major decision or change, it's best to wait until a few weeks after, and because always there'll be something, an unknown quality to what is going on. And in terms of your money, you really want to know for certain that the money is where you're wanting it to go. So be careful where you move your money, and during this time anyway. And you may experience changes in your bonus structure or your commission, or how you receive your money could fluctuate, because remember, this is the moon and Rahu is there too. And so there could be some changes in in the way that you receive your money. Also, your partner could undergo some changes in money as well. Gemini, this eclipse takes place in your first house, so this is your physical body. So it signifies, health. But in terms of that, I would say also that Mercury, has rulership over all of the internal communication, our veins and arteries, the synapses of the brain. Mercury is in charge of the body's communications. So you could receive psychic revelations, you could receive information, mystical experiences. All of that is a possibility for you, certainly if you have your ascendant or you have planets there in the first house that are near that 25-degree point. This is a really good time, I feel, Gemini, for you to be manifesting, because you can really get out there with the realms of your thoughts and your imagination. And why not, right? Whatever you're wanting to manifest, use this time. This is why we know or want to know astrology, is what is the best timing to do certain things. And I feel like this is a very powerful time for Gemini to manifest. Cancer. This is a really good time, Cancer, for you to journal, contemplation, meditation, yoga, visiting an ashram or any sacred site is going to be very nurturing to your soul. Any spiritual studies that you do, research. This is actually a fantastic time for research, because this is happening in your 12th house. And so this is good for work with the subconscious mind. It's fantastic for working in areas such as hypnosis, because it is the subconscious mind, and the moon is in the 12th house, and that's ideal for connecting. It really is our subconscious mind that's really calling our shots, but most people are unaware of that. So this is a fantastic time also for you, Cancer, for working with that part of the mind, and also for manifesting, as it is for Gemini. Now, for Leo, Leo, opportunities may come to you through your friends, and you may establish a really unusual friendship during this time. And this, you can also profit from the friendships or from large groups and organizations. So this is really your 11th house, Leo, and so that's the house of hopes and wishes and dreams. And so you could get really good support from whatever project that you're wanting to put forth now. Your friends and these large organizations, you'll find support from them. So it's a good time for enjoying art. And, and art too, I think always leads to imagination, because you can look at the different artists and the way they approach their subject, and you can start to think also, this is the way the mind is. Hey, I never would have thought of that approach, and that makes me think of something else. So this is a really good time for Leo and for your imagination. Virgo. Okay, Virgo, your career could take some unusual twists and turns during this time, because a couple of things. The moon is actually in your 10th house. So it's in, again, Gemini. And you could actually be starting or birthing a new career, Virgo. Now this, I'm talking about a second career, okay? This could deal with teaching or healing, either one of these. Now, Virgo is really an expert. This is the sign of the zodiac that can really shine in terms of their expert. And here's why. Because they have great discriminating abilities, and they have the ability to really specialize and to really zoom in on certain things. One of them is quality. And so Virgo, you may be running or about to take off on your second career. Now, when I say second, I'm not saying you're discarding the first. I'm saying that these are running concurrently to each other. So Virgo, this could be a second career that is really life-changing for you. And it'll be really interesting to hear from you about that. Okay, so Libra, this is really good for foreign travel. And you also, Libra, you may want to dive into some kind of new study or learning something new. Your beliefs have been probably undergoing some changes, and you're still experiencing this. But you're also going to be receiving new information around this eclipse time. And so that will be valuable to you as well. Scorpio. Big changes for you, Scorpio. The moon is in your 8th house. Now, the 8th house is the house that represents transformation. And so you're probably undergoing some emotional transformation at this time. And the 8th house is also a moksha house. So this deals with enlightenment. And I've been talking about this for the past year too. And this is true for all of the signs, not just Scorpio. But because this lunar eclipse is happening in your 8th house, I do believe that you are undergoing a lot of change and spiritual change. Remember, you're going to need to pay attention to your downloads, because the 8th house is very much metaphysical and mystical. And so you could receive some incredible information during this eclipse. Your dreams also are important. And again, you want to journal them so that you don't forget those details that are in the dreams. Sagittarius, you can benefit from your partner during this time. So you may also have a business partner. And when I'm talking about this, I mean your business partner and your marital partner. Now, here's what is interesting here. Rahu is here. And so Rahu can actually be a little overbearing in terms of a partner. And so you may find that your partner right now is a little overbearing. Now, there can be advantage to this and disadvantage, okay? Remember, again, we're working with duality here because it's Gemini. And so your partner may be outmaneuvering you in some way, or they could be deceiving you. And it probably sounds strange that either or any or all of these could be happening. There could be some advantage for you here, or there could be that something is going on that you're not quite in the loop on. So remember again that this is that Mercury is involved, and Mercury is also a planet. It is fast moving, but Mercury was also called the trickster planet, and so we just have to be on the lookout, just aware. Capricorn, you've really undergone a lot of endings and loss and just a lot of changes, because this solar eclipse happened for you in the 12th house of endings. So there's been a lot of endings for Capricorn. But I do want to say this: where there is an ending, remember there is always a beginning. So it's like you are getting to have a rebirth here soon, because Saturn will be going into your first house, and that happens at the end of January. I'll be talking more on that later. But you are going to, this is a really good time. This eclipse is good for unusual or medical or a different approach to healing. Whatever you need healing, whether it deals with mental areas or physical, you're going to have all the resources that you need are available to you to understand and to know what you need for healing. Okay, I think that's really important for Capricorn to know. Any challenge that you have, Capricorn, any challenge you have, there will be a solution for it. Okay. Aquarius, this places the moon and Rahu in your 5th house. So this is really good for kind of unusual romantic partnerships or relationships, I should say. So this is a good placement also for enjoyment. The 5th house is really kind of a party house, right? So when we have planets there, you know, we want to have a good time. We want to enjoy ourselves. And so this is a good time for that. You're really more playful now than you are normally. So you may want to get out and be out and about more. So this is a good time to enjoy the arts and being out in life. You'll be more playful. And so and you'll probably enjoy your friends a lot more now. Pisces, this will bring some changes to your home and career. Both of that, I've been saying to Pisces for a while now, it's in the cosmic cake, right? The cosmic cake means, I sometimes have clients who say, well, wait, nothing happened on the transit. Well, remember, there's no big partition that's closing off the opportunity to us, okay? But for Pisces, I want to say, it's in the cosmic cake. Your career, and this also affects your home, because the moon, the lunar eclipse, is falling in your 4th house of home. And so since it is the moon, it deals with females. And Pisces, if you're in a teaching or counseling or educational field, and many Pisces are, because this is a natural area for them. They make excellent counselors and healers. And so you're going to be dealing with females. The moon is the feminine, and unusual events may occur around this eclipse time. I just want you to know that. But they're going to end up, I believe, to be beneficial for you, Pisces, because during this eclipse, the moon is traveling through a nakshatra or star that's called Punavarsu, which means a star of renewal. And this is a beautiful star, and it's going to be beneficial. Whatever you feel is an upheaval, because this is what eclipses do. They kind of throw things up, right? And an upheaval is almost a normal part of an eclipse. But I want you to know, Pisces, that this is going to work out in some way to be beneficial for you beyond this. So just keep that in your mind as you work for this. as you work through this. So this is good for unusual ideas. And even, let me just say this, we're really coming into a time of unusual living spaces. These are the way that we live, what we call home and where we call home. All of this is kind of changing in terms of innovation. And so your home may end up being something really unique and interesting after all of this eclipse time. So that's every sign of the zodiac. The last thing I want to mention is eclipse time, you in terms of making major changes in your life, you want to kind of wait until a few weeks after, okay? I like to say until the dust is settled, because eclipses do bring changes. And for instance, if you take a job around eclipse time, and I know this one to be the truth because I've experienced it personally many years ago. And so, and I have clients who tell me the same thing. You will not know an important piece of information about that position that later will end up being something that you might not agree to, or you might not have signed on for that. This is true about any major decision, moving, career change. I would even say buying technology or computers or anything, because Mercury does rule technology, and with the eclipse, you might not know what you're getting. So just be aware, and just wait, and if you can, and I know it's not always possible, but if you can, wait a few weeks until after the eclipse has passed. Okay? Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll talk to you later. Bye.